How you doing, everybody? I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams. And
Smacktalk.
Smacktalk. We're going to start out segment 1 with our NCAA tournament talk. You know, it's March Madness, which now should be called Mid-March Madness because the tournament doesn't end until April. Baseball season starting sooner and tournament starting later kind of messes with the whole normal mojo. First thing we're going to talk about is Barackotology. President Barack Obama has picked his Final Four, including Arizona, Louisville, Michigan State, and Florida. I think he's only been correct one time.
Went out on a limb with those picks, didn't he?
Yeah, those are really tough, really tough there. He's got defending champion Louisville, who's a 4 seed, but other than that, he's got Michigan State, who's a 4 seed, who could have been higher seeded.
They should have been a higher seed.
They won the Big Ten tournament, and they did pretty well this year, Sparty. You know, he's only been once right, but he does know his college basketball. Although last year his bracket was only in the 74th percentile, which I think was his lowest. But he's only been right one time. But, you know, Obama, when he's done with his daily presidential stuff, he probably watches the sports. You know, he gets to watch from the inside access. He gets to meet teams.
He knows Chicago. He knows his stuff.
He knows his basketball. he's No, not going to knock on the guy. I don't see anything wrong with his Final Four picks. There's nothing I would say glaring.
No, there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, just like mine and yours, we don't have anything lower than a 3 seed. So
no.
Or actually, you're a 4 seed.
Yeah,
yours,
both 4
yeah.
seeds. So do you, Michigan State. But I mean, that's because they might be 4 seeds, but
they're better than that.
They're quality teams. I wanted to talk about one thing with you is, when the bracket came out, first thing I do, you know, I make a penciled bracket, and I break down the teams. The toughest bracket this year, I got two, the Midwest and the East. I got the Midwest as the toughest. It does have Wichita State, who's the 1 seed. First team's UNLV. You were right last show. 34-0, first team's UNLV. It also has Michigan as a 2 seed, who's a quality Michigan team. Big wins for Michigan. Duke, it's a really underrated Duke team. I don't know. The 3 seed doesn't say they're underrated, but they're kind of sleeping this year. And Louisville is a 4 seed who you could move the 2, 3, and 4 in this bracket, and it really wouldn't make a much difference besides how they get there. It also has 2 of my sleeper picks that I'll get into when we do our sleeper thing in our top 5, as well as Kentucky and Texas. Kentucky and Texas are 2 teams that are loaded with talent, but underperformed this year. Respectively at 8 and 7.
You got a lot of young players on those teams, and those players need to develop into sophomores and juniors, and the sophomores into juniors into seniors if they stay.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get one and done. You're going to get that with Jabari Parker
Mm-hmm.
this year from Duke. Andrew Wiggins from Kansas is going to leave. I agree with you on that side of the bracket. It is the toughest. I think Wichita State kind of drags it down as a number 1 seed because of the quality of the opponents they play.
Yeah.
So it is the hardest just because of Duke, Louisville, but Wichita State kind of drags it down a little bit.
The second, which could be argued that is a tougher bracket, is the East region. It has Michigan State. It has Virginia, who's a number 1 seed, who's only really a number 1 seed because they dominated the ACC and won the ACC tournament. UNC, although UNC is a 6 team, that's a very... And coaching there, Roy Williams, you know, the very good team. Iowa State is a solid team at 3, and Villanova has got my recipe for success with great guard play. That can be made a case. Now you could talk about the West and whatnot, and the other brackets. You know, Florida, they have Syracuse and Kansas, but other than that, it's really weak. Especially Florida. Their next matchup will either be against Pitt or Colorado. So, you know, both those teams play close games. Florida doesn't really play close games. They pretty much just defensively blow people out. They're a solid team. So I got the Midwest as the toughest bracket because of who else is in it besides Wichita State. And I got the East as the second toughest bracket simply because the most quality is in the East, in my opinion. You also have Harvard, who's in there. You have Providence, who will play UNC. Providence Friars, that's a good team.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a thing. They also have two sleepers. Harvard is one of yours. We'll talk about the other ones later, but they have some of these sleeper teams that me and Tony have picked in there, which makes these brackets a lot tougher to pick.
Yeah, definitely. Right now we're watching the first round games. Earlier, Albany took down Mount St. Mary's. There was this 5'9" point guard in Albany that was just tearing it up, and I kind of want to see what he's going to do.
Were they wearing
against
those
number one.
ugly purple and yellow
Yeah,
uniforms?
yeah. It's one of like the Lakers,
Ugliest,
only opposite.
ugliest.
It was bad.
uniforms in the
NC State's one of my sleepers. They're playing right now against Xavier. They're up 43-37 in the second with 14:50 left, and Xavier's on the line.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, they now have 68 teams that make it. They have the first four,
Yeah.
which are the 8 teams play for the first 4 spots. Sometimes it's 16 seeds like it was earlier. This time it's a 12 seed. In fact, there's an 11 seed, Iowa, Tennessee. So they do that now. It allows more teams to get in. It allows the bubble to be a little bit bigger. And we get to see some really quality matchups to start the tournament.
Yeah, you're going to get an NC State versus, I don't know who they're going to end up playing. It's going to be a 12-4 matchup.
12-5 matchup.
12-5. But you know how those matchups go, 12-5. There's always 1 or 2 12-5 upsets.
That's
it
correct.
seems like. Every year it seems like that's what happens.
NC State will play St. Louis. The winner of this game will play St. Louis.
I got
It's
NC
another
State
game.
beating St. Louis.
I do too.
So there you go.
The question I have is, can Louisville repeat this year? They won last year.
Nah.
Can they repeat?
I don't think they can repeat. I like Rick Pitino as a coach. He manages to
Rick
do
Pitino's not their coach anymore, by the way.
What?
No, he retired last year, man. He was out.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. Louisville was just they got talent. He left them with talent. He did the opposite of Sir Alex Ferguson. He just left them.
Where was I the past year?
Yeah, I don't know, but Louisville doesn't have Rick
Okay,
Pitino
well,
anymore.
so there you go. Then no way then, because that guy was able to do a lot with little, and without him,
funny
it's
something
not
about
happening.
their team is they're under Pitino. They were historically bad at the free throw line, except last year in the championship game they were money. This year they're a lot better. They're 6% points better in the free throw line, but still only shooting 77% from the free throw line. So that is always something that can kill a team in tournament time, is the charity stripe. Because you get that 10-point, 2-minute rule, you can't make free throws.
Once you get in a double bonus and you can't make free throws, you're in big trouble.
Yep. Okay, so let's go on. Let's go with your Final Four, as well as you do your Final Four. I'll do my Final Four. I want you to tell me who you got winning it. I'll tell you who I got.
All right. My Final Four is Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Michigan State. The only reason I have Florida there is because they seem to have a pretty easy way to get there. Maybe 1 or 2 hard matchups on the way. Wisconsin, they're playing in a really tough region, but I think they're going to get by Duke and a couple other people on the way to being a big surprise Final Four team. Michigan is...
We'll have to go through Wichita State, but
Wichita
Michigan's a quality
State.
team. So
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Michigan State.
And they got, Michigan State underrated. That's why I have them in my Final Four.
Yeah.
I think Wisconsin, just with the numbers they put up on offense, is going to win the national championship.
Yeah. I don't like that pick because Bo Ryan historically has had bad.
But the
rounds
offensive
and
powerhouse
single
that they
lines.
are,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
put up, I mean, they were killing people to
Everybody
start
on
the
their
season.
team shoots from perimeter, even the center.
And nowadays, 70% of the shots come from beyond the arc.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
My Final Four, I've got Arizona, Iowa State beat Michigan State to make it to the Final Four, which is surprising because I'm a Sparty fan. But Iowa State's really solid. I got Louisville because I think that they're probably the best team in that bracket, in that region. And I have Florida. Florida's the number 1 team in the country. Florida's playing great basketball. They have coaching Billy Donovan. He's been here. He's done it before. I've got Florida beating Louisville in the championship game, 78-71. I think Florida's just all around solid. You do look at their bracket. They probably won't have a tough matchup. A tough matchup. Not to say that none of these games aren't tough, but they'll either face Syracuse or Kansas, depending on who shakes out of that 2-3 matchup, if both those teams make it that far. I don't see any real surprises amongst the top 4s. I'm kind of upset that in that bracket that UCLA got a 4 seed. I don't think UCLA was deserving a 4 seed. In fact, I hope that VCU makes it out of their first round game so we can see UCLA, VCU, 4-5 matchup, and that'd be that. So, another thing I wanted to say. What? Yeah.
Hold on one sec.
Yeah, he coaching. He's not their coach anymore.
Dude, I'm telling you. Anyway, go ahead
Anyway,
with the last thing.
I wanted to. One thing I wanted to say is the big craze this year. Okay, everyone, tournament time is like one of the best times in sports. Everyone picks brackets thing, but this year, Warren Buffett has bet $1 billion. $1 billion. That. Okay.
Rick Pitino's
That's
coach.
Wikipedia. We don't listen to Wikipedia.
Okay.
Warren Buffett has bet $1 billion, that nobody in the country can pick a perfect bracket. We're not talking 99th percentile.
Yeah.
We're talking 100%. Now, the odds are ridiculous. With 68 teams and a correctly filled bracket, there's like over 6 quintillion different combinations.
Yeah.
But the odds of winning with a perfect bracket are nuts. I filled out a bracket. Tony filled out a bracket. I gave you my Final Four off of that bracket. In fact,
And that was mine also.
I don't like logging onto the Quicken Loans site to check mine, so I made an ESPN bracket, the exact same as my thing. So I can just go onto my ESPN account and look at that bracket and know if it's still perfect or not. So I kind of cheated that. If you guys are, you got until tomorrow to fill out a bracket, you chance at $1 billion. Have your girlfriend flip a coins, have your wife pick the colors of the team's uniforms, whatever. You never know, man. There's two options. You could take $500 million straight up, which is stupid if you ask me, my banker knowledge, or you could take $50 million for 20 years, which is by far the better investment because your first $50 million is going to change your life. When you get that second year's $50 million, you're going to say to yourself, I could do this for another 18 years.
I don't know.
I would take $50 million for $50
million
for 20
you're
years.
right. You're right. Because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you can't even blow that. I can't even blow through that in 20 years.
Just so you know, tax-wise, you get $500 million straight up. You're going to pay 38% tax on it. You're going to pay a buttload of money in tax, and you're losing $500 million right off the top. You're taking a cash-out option. You take $50 million. Yeah, you're going to pay more tax because you're taking the whole $1 billion.
Yeah.
But reality, $27.9 million a year after taxes. You could buy a yacht, a house, a big house, pretty much any car you want to. You could leave your wife, give her money, go get a hot girlfriend like a Russian one, like Putin does. You could do all the cocaine and blow you want to do. You could buy all the alcohol. You could do anything you want.
Before you get to second
whatever.
$50 million?
Whatever you want to do. You want to go buy a Winnebago and tour the United States? You could do whatever you want.
That's what I would do. I would tour my favorite sports team. I would just follow them around.
I would just go to every day there is a sporting event. My calendar would be taking my son. He'd be homeschooled on the bus as we went to a sporting event.
Man.
Yeah, every day we would just be going to another sporting event. Mark my words. If I hit $1 billion, I will do that. We will go like 5 straight years. You know what? Here's the deal. If I win $1 billion,
Smacktalk will be on
go
NBC.
That's right. We will go to a sporting event every day until Arsenal wins a major trophy.
Oh, God.
Okay, so that's that. Stay tuned for segment 2. I'm Shawn Adams.
Tony Gaglione. Thanks for watching.
Watch for the bounce. Or in this case, it's